Have you ever heard someone say, I'm a diabetic, I shouldn't eat that, and then they go on to eat it anyhow? Have you spent time wondering why they chose to eat something they admit that they shouldn't eat? I know firsthand how a diabetic person feels. When I was 34 years old, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I cried for 2 days straight. Diabetes in America is on the rise. According to the American Diabetes Association, 25.8 million children and adults in the United States, 8.3% of the population have diabetes. Chances are that at least one person who hears this has diabetes, is at risk for developing it, or knows someone who has it or is at risk. I have diabetes. My mom, my grandmother both had diabetes. When I was diagnosed, I immediately wanted to learn all that I could about the disease. First, I asked the doctor for more information, and then I read it, and I read it, and I read it some more. Today, I'd like to share with you some facts about diabetes. The facts that I will share are drawn from 2 websites. One is from the American Diabetes Association, or the ADA, and the other is from the U.S. National Library of Medicine, or the USNLM. There are 3 main topics we will address. By the time this speech is over, we'll have discussed the 3 main types of diabetes, the main causes for the 3 types, and prevention tips for each type. So let's begin with looking at type 1 diabetes. According to the USNLM, type 1 diabetes can occur at any age, but it is most often diagnosed in children, teens, or young adults. In this disease, the body makes little or no insulin. Daily injections of insulin are needed, and the exact cause is unknown. Currently, there is no cure for this type of diabetes. The ADA states that our researchers continue to make significant contributions to the care and treatment of diabetes and its complications. They go on to say, thanks to ADA support, they have driven discoveries in prevention and treatment that have changed the lives of patients with diabetes today and hope to bring the hope of a cure for tomorrow. From information found in both websites, there's no way to prevent type 1 diabetes. Great strides have been made in research of the disease over the last 100 years, and scientists continue to search for a cure. Let's move on to type 2 diabetes. According to the USNLM, type 2 diabetes makes up most diabetes cases. It is most often occurring in adults. However, because of high obesity rates, teens and young adults are now being diagnosed with it. Many people with type 2 diabetes do not even know that they have it. Furthermore, the ADA states that in type 2 diabetes, either the body does not produce enough insulin or the cells ignore the insulin. Some of the causes include obesity, poor eating habits, and possibly genetics. There's no cure mentioned in any of the research that I've done. Type 2 diabetes can be prevented by eating a healthy diet, keeping a healthy body weight, and staying active. A healthy diet and proper exercise is a positive lifestyle change for everyone. Working with a doctor and a dietitian is a good idea. By improving your blood sugar levels through your diet, you can also lower your blood pressure and your cholesterol. Be sure to ask your doctor for more information on all of this. Okay, the final type of diabetes we'll discuss is gestational diabetes. According to the USNLM, gestational diabetes is high blood sugar that develops at any time during pregnancy in a woman who does not have diabetes. With gestational diabetes, pregnancy hormones can block insulin from doing its job. When this happens, glucose levels may increase in a pregnant woman's blood. Seeing a doctor early in pregnancy and having continued prenatal care are effective ways to avoid gestational diabetes. According to the USNLM, having a prenatal screening at 24 to 28 weeks into your pregnancy will help detect gestational diabetes early. Also, if you are overweight, decreasing your body mass index to a normal range before you get pregnant will decrease your risk of developing gestational diabetes. If you are diagnosed with gestational diabetes, all is not lost. Just because you have the disease does not mean you have the disease after pregnancy. Follow the advice of your doctor and everything should be just fine. I encourage all of you to look at the websites I mentioned for yourselves and learn as much as you can about diabetes. Diabetes can happen to anyone at any time, and have a discussion with your doctor soon. We've only just begun to graze the tip of the iceberg here today. There's so much more to learn about the types of diabetes, their causes, and how to prevent them. Benjamin Franklin once said, "An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure." He was not speaking of diabetes when he said this. However, it is very fitting for diabetes. So remember that type 1 diabetes has no known cause, no known cure, and prevention is unknown. Type 2 diabetes is caused by poor eating habits, obesity, and possibly genetics. It can be prevented by eating a healthy diet, keeping a healthy body weight, and staying active. Gestational diabetes occurs during pregnancy due to hormones, can be prevented by keeping a healthy lifestyle and seeing a doctor early in pregnancy, and basically just following the prevention tips for type 2 diabetes. Diabetes can destroy lives, but with a little bit of knowledge and some lifestyle changes, we can make a difference. Once again, I encourage you to learn as much as you can about diabetes and then share that knowledge with your friends and family.